Guns drawn, a helicopter in the air, and one person now charged. News 2 is following breaking news. A massive manhunt for an armed and dangerous man accused of killing a Dickson County Sheriff's Office sergeant.
News 2 brings you live team coverage from Dickson County tonight on the search, what we've learned about the suspect, and what we know about the victim.
This is a News 2 breaking news alert.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to News 2 at 10. I'm Bob Mueller.
And I'm Haley Wiggins. That breaking news alert out of Dickson County we've been following now for more than 12 hours. A manhunt for an armed and dangerous criminal accused of killing a sergeant.
And just in the last 30 minutes, the TBI released new information about Erica Castro Miles. She has now been charged in connection with this case. We have a reporter looking into those charges right now. Before that, we want to show you these brand new images tonight of the suspect, Stephen Wiggins. These photos released by the TBI. He has several tattoos. Wiggins is the center of a blue alert and on the TBI's 10 most wanted list.
Wiggins is no stranger to law enforcement. He's had many looks throughout the years. Here are some of the mugshots and pictures from previous years.
And while the manhunt ramps up for Wiggins, law enforcement and family, as well as the community, mourn the death of Sergeant Daniel Baker. It looked like a heavenly salute to the fallen officer, Daniel Baker, as a rainbow formed at the funeral home where his body was being prepared for transport to the Davidson County Medical Examiner's office. A procession of police cars from numerous departments led the way in tribute as the ambulance carrying Deputy Baker's body traveled along Interstate 40 toward Nashville. Along the way, more displays of respect and honor from law enforcement and everyday citizens. Once the caravan arrived in Nashville, the flag-draped body of Deputy Baker was respectfully transferred to the medical examiner's office, fellow officers there to be with their fallen comrade in arms.
We've learned more about the victim, Sergeant Daniel Scott Baker. He was in the U.S. Marine Corps Reserve. He graduated from the Tennessee Law Enforcement Academy in August of 2008. He quickly moved up the ranks, becoming a patrol corporal in 2011 and then a sergeant in 2012. In 2013, he joined the Special Op Response Team. He leaves behind a wife and a daughter. Tonight, we're hearing more about a woman who was taken into custody for questioning, and she's now facing charges.
Yeah, News 2's Adam Snyder joined us live in our team coverage tonight from the Dickson County Jail in Charlotte. She is inside tonight facing those charges. What have you learned, Adam?
Well, we're still trying to learn more at this moment, Bob. Not a lot of information has been released. I can tell you her name is Erica Castro Miles, as y'all mentioned. We know tonight that she has been charged with first-degree murder. She was brought here earlier today and remains in custody at the Dickson County Jail, though her role in the murder has not been released. Now, Stephen Wiggins was certainly well acquainted with this facility due to a lengthy multi-county track record with law enforcement. According to court documents, over the past 12 years, he's been arrested multiple times, with charges including domestic assault, possession of a weapon by a felon, resisting arrest, theft, and vandalism. His most recent arrest was actually just this Tuesday. Wiggins is accused of assaulting a woman at a nearby hotel, then stealing her car. And this shows a true pattern of assault here, as he's had 8 or 9 assault and domestic assault charges over the past few years. Now, there's no word yet on the connection between he, though, and Castro Miles. Now, we will have crews here at the jail throughout the night as this intensive search continues. Reporting live in Dickson County, Adam Snyder, News 2.
Thank you, Adam. Turning now to how this all unfolded. There are still a lot of questions tonight as investigators piece together what led to this morning's shooting.
We've learned just in the last 30 minutes the crime scene where the shooting happened has been reopened, and detectives have left the scene after collecting evidence. In our team coverage tonight, News 2's Kim Wynn is live in Dickson County at a staging area where we've been getting updates from authorities there. Kim.
Yeah, hey there, Haley. This has been an all-day search effort for the suspect, Stephen Wiggins. Right now, it looks like this search will continue through the night and through tomorrow morning. As you can see behind me, lots of law enforcement still at this staging area, so they're prepared to be here for as long as it takes. Now, take a look at some of this video that we just got moments ago. The tow truck driver, tells us that this vehicle you're seeing right now was Sergeant Baker's truck being towed away in this shot. You can see a sheet covering the driver's side window. Now here's a breakdown of everything that led up to this. Around 7 this morning, Sergeant Daniel Baker went to check out a call about a suspicious vehicle on Sam Vineyard Road. Baker was later found dead in his patrol car about 2 or 3 miles away. Law enforcement has been searching for the suspect, Stephen Wiggins. They've been going door to door and searching wooded areas. Now, Wiggins has a very long criminal past and is wanted for assaulting a woman and stealing her car at a hotel in Kingston Springs just on Tuesday. Now, the TBI now saying that woman, Erica Castro Miles, has been charged in connection to the murder. Baker's death has sent shockwaves throughout law enforcement across the state.
They are our brothers and sisters, and when you're around them on a basis as close as we are, you know, it's one of those things that we know in the back of our mind that it could happen to any of us, and sadly today it happened to one of us.
It certainly brings it home the difficult situations that these officers face every single day. When you're walking into something, you don't exactly know what you're walking to at any given time.
And again, law enforcement is expected to be out here all night long. Anyone with information is asked to call 911 or the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. In Dickson County, Kim Nguyen, News 2.
Thank you, Kim. And tonight we have our team monitoring this search right along with law enforcement officers. News 2's Nick Calloway has been keeping up with the search efforts all night along Plunders Creek Road. That is near the Dixon-Hickman County line.
Yeah, officers were seen with their guns drawn outside the wooded area while a helicopter hovered above. And before that, Nick was out in the county talking with community members who tell him they remain vigilant.
The police presence here has been staggering. Police have saturated Dickson County as the search for Stephen Wiggins intensifies. We were there as dozens of officers swarmed the woods off Highway 48 near the Dixon-Hickman County line, guns drawn and police helicopters hovering overhead. Residents in the area of the Manhunt have been living on edge all day long, many arming themselves and keeping an eye out for Stephen Wiggins.
He comes over here, we'll hold him until somebody gets here, or, you know, we'll do whatever we have to do to make sure everybody stays safe.
And this wooded area behind me has been an area of interest for police for several hours now. And as the sun fell, this search only got more difficult. Nick Calloway, News 2.
Thank you, Nick. News 2's Andy Cordan was one of the first reporters on the scene as officers began searching.
In more team coverage tonight, Andy walks us through those intense moments.
So this is the area around Old Highway 46, and as you can see behind me, it's nothing but forest and trees and deep, dense places where a bad guy could hide. We were out with law enforcement for a good portion of today. Here's what it looks like inside the inner perimeter. I can tell you it's a windy thoroughfare, thick canopy of trees flanked by tall grass and shrubs. It's a dangerous and perfect place for a bad guy to hide. As we proceeded deeper into the woods, we were greeted somewhat by THP troopers, Dickson County SWAT team members. We saw canine units. They were going house to house, door to door. They were checking old barns. We saw as they used canines to clear one part of a structure while law enforcement officers kind of stacked on top of each other with their weapons drawn, looked inside of dark places. Certainly a very dangerous situation throughout much of the day. Sadly, they did not find this man, but I can tell you they will not give up. We are here in Dickson. I'm Andy Cordan. Let's send it back to you.
Thank you, Andy. And while authorities continue the search, the TBI has increased the reward now to $12,500. Here's another look at Wiggins' picture. If you do see him, do not approach him. Call 911.
Well, Dickson County lost a hero. Sheriff Jeff Bledsoe understandably spoke very highly of his deputy this afternoon. Eric
Egan is joining us to explain how Sergeant Baker has put himself in danger before to help others. Eric.
Yeah, hi guys. He'd been a deputy for 10 years, also a member of the Marine Corps Reserves. This was a man whose life was about bravery and, of course, service. Now, despite his full-time duty, Baker responded to Freed Hardeman in March for a shooting. This was the scene here. He wasn't working as a deputy that night, but he acted fast and prevented what could have been a tragedy there. Investigators said a man was shooting a gun in this parking lot. Here's what the Dickson County Sheriff said happened.
A male was outside firing a weapon. Sergeant Baker was on scene that night working a secondary job for Freed Hardeman at the Renaissance Center. and he was the one that intervened and got that person in custody.
So no one was hurt that night because Baker prevented it. Now, Sheriff Bledsoe also talked about a time Baker saved a woman from her car during a water rescue. This was clearly a man who would not hesitate to help others and would not put himself first. Guys.
Thank you, Eric. Stay with News 2 for continuing coverage. We'll bring you any updates on air, online, and on the go.
And still ahead here at 10, how law enforcement from all across the region are honoring Sergeant Baker.
This is a News 2 Storm Tracker Weather Alert.
News 2 is in weather alert mode as Middle Tennessee braces for possible storms tomorrow. They could be severe.
We could see more rain, more storms, more flooding. It's just bad out there again.
I know. Unfortunately, that's the case. We had a round of storms come through tonight. You know, those were, one of them were severe, but we are watching right now some showers out there to the east here over Manchester and McMinnville. This is what's left over, not a whole lot. That's pushing towards Cookeville, Crossville, so heads up, you might get a few showers. Otherwise, it did cool us down. We're at 72 degrees in Nashville. Here's that timeline as we head into the overnight hours. First thing tomorrow morning, a few showers could be possible north and west. Otherwise, we're going to wait till around lunchtime for some showers and storms to pop. Now, these we're not as concerned with, but we are watching another round coming in at night into your Friday morning, and there is a slight risk out in that yellow color. We'll talk about the threats in the hour-by-hour timeline ahead.
Thank you, Danielle. If you live or commute to Nashville, you've probably experienced traffic headaches on I-440. Well, coming up, some big news about the improvement project you don't want to miss.
Breaking news alerts and coverage you can count on. Bob Mueller, Haley Wilgis, and Danielle Breezy's updated weekend forecast. This is News 2 at 10.
Stay with News 2 for continuing coverage of the manhunt for Stephen Wiggins, accused of killing Sergeant Daniel Baker. The search will continue throughout the night.
An update now on the I-440 reconstruction project. Well, it's going to cost taxpayers more money than expected, but it may get done faster than planned. TDOT is considering shutting down the interstate to get the job done.
The initial plan was to partially shut down 440 for 3 years, but now TDOT says it can condense that to 10 months. News 2's Linda Ong was at TDOT's press conference earlier today. And Linda, how is this going to work?
Well, Bob and Haley, again, this is that huge project that's going to replace the concrete on 440. This is a live look from our TDOT cams to asphalt. Now, according to TDOT's proposal, the shutdown would happen in 2 segments in 2 different phases. Now,
our goal is to make this as small as of a challenge or inconvenience as possible for the citizens of the state of Tennessee.
the first closure from I-65 to I-24, the work there projected to take 3 months. The second from I-40 on the west side of town to I-65. That closure would be for 7 months. TDOT officials say based on analysis, the segmented closures would minimize impact on traffic compared to partial closures.
Our customers tell us routinely, get in and get out. What can you do to accelerate the construction period of the project? We've not made a final decision on how we're going to deliver the project, but we think we want to explore this option.
Now, the date to award the design team also pushed back from the summer to the fall. Another big update is the cost. The project's estimated price tag is now anywhere between $130 to $150 million. Now, that's about 3 times the initial estimated cost. TDOT officials say construction could begin as early as this November.
Thank you, Linda. That's a big increase. They're bad and they're on the run. News 2 exposes some of Tennessee's most wanted fugitives this Thursday. Josh Breslow digs deeper into some of the cases that have become top priorities for local law enforcement locally and statewide. It's part of our ongoing commitment to expose criminals and crime trends. News 2 Crime Tracker Tennessee Most Wanted all day this Thursday in every newscast.
Tracking weather where you live. Here's News 2 Storm Tracker Chief Meteorologist Danielle Breezy.
Check out this time-lapse video of rain that moved in and out of downtown Nashville earlier tonight. News 2 is in weather alert mode, and you can tell why with all the rain there. Now severe storms in the forecast.
Yes, it's not looking good.
It did make for a nice sunset. That was
rainbows.
the silver line.
And rainbows.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. We've got a lot of those on Facebook and on Twitter. I'm going to share some of them in just a bit, so I really appreciate all of that. But yes, tomorrow We need to stay weather alert once again because parts of our area under a slight risk, which is a level 2 out of 5 for severe weather. That green area just south of I-40 under a marginal risk, a 1 out of 5 level. It looks like the round of severe weather is actually going to come in too later in the evening through the overnight hours and into your Friday morning. So heads up, folks. We're looking for heavy rain, hail, and wind all in the medium threat. And the tornado threat is low, but it is not zero. So we do need to stay weather alert on Thursday. Where is this system? Well, right now it's well out to the west here over Kansas and Oklahoma, providing a lot of severe weather for them right now. All that's going to slowly meander over us in Middle Tennessee. You see all those storms we saw earlier now weakening finally, and we're just left with a few showers out there from McMinnville over Manchester, Winchester, and some of these may lift into Cookeville and even Crossville before heading out tonight. Now, we did have some awesome storm clouds. I want to show you this one from Christiani here from the dark clouds heading into Alexandria. Wow, some deep clouds there. Here's an awesome picture of a storm cloud with the sunset happening here from Jody. Thanks so much for sending this in. You can send your pics to pics@wkrn.com. And then look at this sunset. Thank you, Susan, for sending this one. Welcome summer, she says. We're getting close to summer, by the way. It definitely feels like it outside. And here's another beautiful rainbow shot from Gary and Heather in Lebanon. Love that after those storms came through that were severe. All right, so these showers push on out of here and weaken. Then as we head through the day tomorrow, we might have a few spot showers north and west to start the day. Notice that by around, say, lunchtime and thereafter, showers start to pop up here around Clarksville and Portland and mainly in our eastern zones tomorrow afternoon. A few of these could have some gusty winds, some hail, heavy downpours, and a lot of lightning. But this isn't the round we're necessarily concerned with. It's the round coming after that later on that we're going to watch for. So showers and storms likely by about midday. Should be dry, though, for most of us to start. Now, this is 2 o'clock. You see the showers pushing on out of here. There's 5, too. And about 7 o'clock, more of them out to the east. But then watch overnight. Here comes a line of storms, basically from Hopkinsville over to Paris. This is bringing in it slightly later now. It was looking around 7, 8 o'clock. This is delaying it just a touch, but it happens through the overnight hours. So while you're sleeping, a line of strong storms coming in 2, 3, 4 in the morning. They're into, say, Nashville, Columbia, Lebanon here, and then they continue to push farther east. And more storms come in for the ride into work. It looks like along I-40 and points north around 7 o'clock, and all of them then push to the east by about 10 o'clock. After that, in the lunchtime hours, then all the storm activity shifts really south of I-40 on Friday. North of I-40, we begin to dry out, and we will see temperatures warm back up into the upper 80s. And that begins a little bit of a drying trend as we head into the weekend, which I'm going to talk about now in that Weather Authority 7-day forecast. So we have storms possible that are strong in the morning hours into early afternoon on Friday. Saturday looks mainly dry, but it will be hot. It will be humid, around 90 degrees. On Sunday, there is a threat for showers and storms in the afternoon and evening. But next week, we finally get a dry stretch, Monday through Wednesday. Haley and Bob.
Thank you, Danielle. Fellow brothers in blue mourning the loss of Dixon County Sergeant Daniel Baker. We'll show you their moving tribute next on News 2 at 10. Well, after more than 12 hours of searching for Stephen Wiggins, and the hunt continues tonight into the overnight. He's accused of killing Dixon County Sergeant Daniel Baker. Stay with News 2 for continuing coverage of this breaking news alert on air, online, and on the go.
This tragedy hits close to home for law enforcement agencies all across the state. Condolences have been pouring in from different departments.
It is a brotherhood. In Kingston Springs, the fire department honors fallen Sergeant Daniel Baker. They hoisted the flag in a tribute to Baker as the processional made its way to Nashville.
Several law enforcement officers from across the region joined in the escort, including Mount Juliet Police. The department posted this picture on Twitter expressing their support for the Dixon County Sheriff's Office and Sergeant Baker's family. The Anderson County Sheriff's Department also sent their condolences via Twitter. They wrote in part, "Our most heartfelt thoughts and prayers go out to the family and friends of Sergeant Daniel Baker of the Dixon County Sheriff's Office."
And more than 1,000 miles away, the Boston Police Relief Association tweeted in part, "Sending our thoughts and prayers to the family, friends, and co-workers of Sergeant Daniel Baker, who was shot and killed in the line of duty, protecting the people he served. Hashtag never forgotten. Hashtag Blue Family."
All right, let's talk Titans. It's the second week of OTAs, but for the first time, we've had a chance to talk with the players since the NFL spring meetings. A hot-button topic was the national anthem, which the NFL now says is optional. But if the players do take the field for it, they do have to stand. If they don't come out, they do have the support of ownership.
I wanted to make sure that everybody understood the policy, that just came out. And so, as coaches and players and everybody in our organization, we're fully aware of what the policy is. With that being said, we're also fully aware that we have Miss Amy and the entire organization's support to make a decision based on that policy.
Honestly, I'm out and doing what I do in the community, trying to make it better today. That's something we have to worry about in September.
Well, Delaney Walker will be 34 next season, but isn't showing any signs of slowing down. He's entering the last year of his contract, leaving us to wonder just how much he has left, and will it be in a Titans uniform?
I feel great, and at the end of the day, until I feel like someone can take my spot, I'm going to keep playing. I feel like I can play for 4 years. So as long as I still feel that way and I'm moving as fast as I am on the field and making plays, I'm not going to stop.
Love his professionalism, love his work ethic, love his attitude, love his production. So, we're lucky to have him, and he's a great example to a lot of young players.
Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals, first period tonight. It's former Predator James Neal with the sniper shot for the goal and a 1-0 Vegas lead. But tonight, back would come Washington, already tied at 1, and on the power play, Lars Eller to Alexander Ovechkin, who buries it. His first Stanley Cup goal. Caps win at 3-2. The series is tied at 1. The NBA Finals start tomorrow night on News 2, and the Golden State Warriors will not have Andre Iguodala. He is out with a bone bruise. Kevin Love remains in concussion protocol for Cleveland. Finally, soccer tonight, Nashville at Pittsburgh. They were scoreless until the 69th minute. That's when Brandon Miller found the back of the net, and it's a big road win for Nashville tonight, 1-0.
In the 69th. And stay with News 2 for continuing coverage of the manhunt for Stephen Wiggins, accused of killing Sergeant Daniel Baker. The search will continue throughout the night. Stay with us online for updates.
All right, we're talking about mostly cloudy skies begin tomorrow. Showers and storms moving in the afternoon, but a stronger line coming in at night through the overnight hours, and will continue into first thing Friday morning. And with that being said, we do have that slight risk for severe weather in the yellow.
And News 2 is staying on top of the developments in Dixon County after Sergeant Daniel Baker was killed. We'll continue that coverage throughout the night, and on Good Morning Nashville, looking for that shooter.
That's News 2 at 10. You have a great night.